The film opens in complete darkness. Then we hear it before we see it, the sound of dogs barking, boots on concrete, helicopter blades cutting through the night air. Searchlights sweep across a maze of shipping containers stacked high in a portyard. And moving through the shadows between them, ducking and freezing and moving again families. Dozens of them. Terrified, silent, clutching children and whatever little they could carry. This is how the world looks now. We find Mia and Nico among the crowd. She is heavily pregnant. He moves close to her, shielding her, guiding her through the dark. They don't speak much, they don't need to. They've been planning this for a long time. The container they're looking for is marked with a single word painted in faded letters on its side, nowhere. Nico looks at it and says quietly, there it is. Our cruise. Even now, in the middle of all this, he manages a small smile. She holds onto it. They climb inside with a group of others, strangers with the same desperate eyes, the same hollow faces. The darkness inside is total. And as the container is loaded onto the back of a truck and begins to move, we get the first real moment between them. Mia whispers to Nico, what if she's still alive? What if we're leaving her behind? Nico is quiet for a beat. Then he says, she's been taken. She's gone. There's nothing we can do. He doesn't elaborate. But we feel the weight of it, a grief that has been carried so long it has become part of how they breathe. There was another child before this one. A daughter named Uma. And she is not with them. The truck moves through the night. Inside the container it is dark and cramped and hot with too many bodies. Mia stays close to Nico. He talks to her softly, tells her about Ireland, tells her it's going to be safe, that their baby girl will grow up somewhere the regime can't reach. He has already chosen a name. Noah. Like Noah, he says. Someone who survived a flood and came out the other side. But then the truck stops. Voices outside. The sound of the container doors being pulled open. Armed men with flashlights, speaking in clipped orders. The container is too full, they say. People need to move. Half the group is being transferred to another container, number 107. And before Mia can do anything, before she can even reach for his hand, Nico is pulled into that group. He looks back at her through the crowd. She reaches toward him. The doors close between them. Now Mia is alone among strangers in the container called Nowhere. The truck drives on. Through one of the small holes punched in the container wall, Mia presses her eye and watches the outside world moving past. And what she sees through that hole stops her cold. In another area of the port, soldiers are herding women and children into a fenced enclosure. Mia watches, unable to look away, as shots ring out. Then her own truck stops. A checkpoint. The doors open again. Officers with weapons. They order everyone out. Mia moves fast, she climbs, hauling herself up onto a tall stack of wooden crates before the others have fully registered what's happening. She presses flat against the top and goes completely still. Below her, the sound of gunfire. Screaming. Then silence. She does not move for a long time. When the officers leave, she is the only one alive in the container. She tries to call Nico. No signal. She tries again. Nothing. She can do nothing but wait as the container is sealed again and loaded onto a ship. The engines rumble beneath her. The ship begins to move. And Mia is carried out to sea alone, shaking, with no idea whether Nico is on this ship, on another ship, or whether he is still alive at all. For a while, nothing happens. The ship moves. Mia sits in the dark. She finds another phone among the cargo but doesn't know the pin. Then the storm comes. It doesn't build slowly. It arrives like something that has been waiting. The ship heaves and drops. Inside the container everything slides and crashes. Mia is thrown across the floor, slamming into the walls, trying desperately to curl around her stomach. When the storm passes, the silence is absolute. Mia pulls herself upright. She presses her face to one of the holes in the wall. Open ocean. No ship. No land. Nothing in any direction but gray water and gray sky. She is adrift in the Atlantic in a leaking metal box, and nobody knows she is here. She looks through another bullet hole and freezes. Just a few meters away, another container, packed with people, is sinking beneath the surface. Faces pressed against the walls. Hands. And then it's gone. Down into the dark. Then she turns back to her own container and starts working. The water is coming in. Mia tears open packaging, bunches up clothing. She uses the tape from the cargo to reinforce the patches. 2 days in, her phone rings. Nico. His voice fills the container and she grabs the phone with both hands. He is alive. He is trying to reach her. He doesn't know how yet, but he is coming. He tells her to survive until he does. She tells him she will be there when he arrives. Wi finds a drill among the cargo tools. She uses it to work at the seam near the top of the container, drilling, prying, pushing, until finally the metal gives way and she breaks through to open air. For the first time she climbs out onto the roof of the container and stands up straight, and the ocean stretches out forever in every direction. No horizon she can aim for. Nowhere to go. But up here she can breathe. And up here she can fish. She rigs a net from headphone cables and whatever cord she can find. She lowers it into the water and waits. When she pulls something up she eats it raw. Salt and blood in the cold, but calories. She stays alive. Then one day a plane passes overhead. She scrambles across the roof of the container trying to signal it, waving, shouting, anything. In her desperation she slips. The gash on her leg is deep and immediate. She gets back inside, sits down, and looks at it. Then she does what she has to do. She pulls thread from headphone wire, sterilizes the wound with vodka, and stitches it herself. One stitch at a time. She doesn't make a sound the whole way through. That night, another storm rolls in. And with it, the contractions begin. Mia gives birth alone in the container while the ocean rages around her. There is no one to help, nothing to ease it, nowhere to go. The camera stays close, it doesn't look away. It is brutal and real and completely without mercy. And then the baby arrives, and Mia brings her daughter into the world with her own hands, and the baby doesn't make a sound. A few seconds of complete silence. And then a cry. Small and furious and alive. Mia holds her and shakes and doesn't let go for a long time. She names her Noah. The name Nico chose. At her lowest point, starving and desperate after the birth, she retrieves the placenta she had stored in a Tupperware container. She looks at it for a long moment. Then she eats it. The film doesn't flinch from it. Neither does she. Then, roughly 20 days after the storm, Nico calls again. His voice is different. Quieter. He tells her that he found another ship. That he tried to get on board. That he was discovered. That he was shot. He says he is losing a lot of blood. He doesn't say he is dying, but the way he speaks, careful, deliberate, saying the things that matter, tells Mia everything she needs to know. He asks about the baby. She tells him about Noah. He says the name like it's something he's been waiting to hear. He tells Mia to keep going. He tells her to reach Ireland. He tells her he will always be with them. The call cuts out. Mia's phone battery is almost dead. She stares at the screen until it goes dark. Then she looks at Noah. And she gets up, the container is sinking. Not slowly anymore, the water is winning and Mia knows it. She works fast. Using everything she has left, planks, packaging, rope, whatever will float, she builds a small raft. Just big enough for Noah. She wraps her daughter tight, secures her to it, and gets her out onto the roof of the container as the water rises inside. Then Mia does the last thing she has left to do. She takes the dead fish she has stored and drops them into the water around the container. One by one. And she waits. Above her, seagulls begin to gather. First a few, then more, circling, calling, drawn by the fish. The container goes under. Mia goes with it, pulled down by exhaustion and the weight of everything, tangled briefly in something beneath the surface before she breaks free and pushes upward. She surfaces. She finds the raft. She holds on. And then she goes still. Her eyes close. She has nothing left. The film cuts to a small fishing boat. A father and his daughter, out on the water. The daughter is watching the water idly when something catches her eye, a flock of birds, and beneath them, something floating. She calls to her father. They bring the boat around. They pull Noah aboard first, safe, alive, wrapped in her makeshift raft. Then they pull Mia from the water. She is unconscious. They work on her. CPR on the deck of a small fishing boat somewhere off the coast of Ireland, the country Nico said would hold. The country they were always trying to reach. Mia takes a breath. Her eyes open. And the first thing she does, before she's fully conscious, before she even knows where she is reach for her daughter. Noah is there. The raft held. The last image is the two of them together, Mia holding Noah against her chest, the Atlantic behind them, the coast of Ireland somewhere ahead. The water is calm and catching light. They are nowhere no longer.